I hope things will go well and for the best, but the war was very surprising. No one in Israel thought that we are going to get such a hard attack on us, and then that the war against the Hamas will take so long, and it will be so hard.
How you really doing? How you doing today?
I'm fine, thank you. Good to see you.
It's been so long. It's been the last time we spoke. I think it was last year, or is it 2023 or when? Oh, I was last time we spoke. Okay. Okay,
Yeah.
on WhatsApp. How you doing though? How you doing? How's the family and everything?
My personal situation is fine. All my family is okay.
Okay. So how you feeling now that the war has been like there's a deal at least? How do you feel now?
The war is in Israel. It's just a ceasefire. We are not sure that it's ended. It's still very confusing situation here. Things are changed, and we don't know what is going to be in the future. So it's we hope things will get better.
Yeah. Really hope it stops very soon. Okay, so meet our guest from today, Uriel. Uriel is from Israel. He is a seasoned full stack developer with a passion for back-end technologies. He also started an open source community to encourage developers to contribute to open source. So welcome to the Yelo Room podcast, Uriel.
Hi, good to be
This
here.
is a safe space. Yeah. This is a safe space for job seekers to share their stories, be vulnerable, and also be a friend to share, this burden with, because the job market is so tough. So Uriel and I have been friends since 2023. We worked together to establish the African open source community before the October 7th attack. It's so good to meet you again, Uriel.
To meet you too.
Okay, so you mentioned that you were an ultra Orthodox Jew, which means you don't believe Jesus is the Messiah, right? So why don't you share this belief anymore?
I just changed my mind about it. I was born to a family that was religious, and I became even more religious than my family. But eventually, when I was 28, I get to check again how I see the world, what are my beliefs, and the conclusion was that no, I don't believe it anymore, and I became secular, something like this.
Okay. Is there any situation or event that influenced your decision to change your belief?
Okay. What happened that I tried to understand more deeper the way of life that I believed. The problem is that I don't know what the listeners know about the ultra-Orthodox way. So I'll try to say general words about it and try to explain. It's a very strict way. And the specific belief that I had, it's connected to Rabbi Avraham Yitzhak Kook, if someone try to learn about it more. So it's have an optimistic view that our belief is connected to the world and it's a basic proof of the world. And then I just try to understand, okay, how it's supposed to be outside of the community that I lived in. And eventually what I saw that it can be a nice belief, but I don't think it's really connected to the reality and all the things that are going on in the world. It's more optimistic view and a belief that people want to believe, and they have the tradition of the Jewish people, and they take it too much far. And I don't think it's so true as I thought. It was surprising because it wasn't my first purpose. I thought that I will understand better my belief, but eventually I got to the conclusion that no, it's not like I thought.
So how did your family, how did your parents, your siblings, how did they take it? How did you share the news with
Well,
them?
my parents supported me, not my opinions, but they believe that each one need to choose his way in life. So if this is a way that I want to go, it's okay from them, and they will help me because I'm their son. As I mentioned, they are not so religious as I became, but I was married and I had 5 children. And for my wife, that she was also Orthodox and had a very strong belief. So we didn't manage to find a way to go on together and to live in peace because she saw it as kind of a betrayed. That I changed the rule of our lives. So eventually we got a divorce, and yeah, it's a sad thing that happened from that. Yeah.
So sorry about that. Okay, so let's talk about the war, right? You mentioned in the form
Okay.
that before the war started, you were working with a project-based company, and you were rounding up the project before the war started, and you're already looking out for your next opportunity. So how has the war affected you, like job-wise, like right? Like before the war, was the job market better in Israel, or it was worse?
Okay. Even before the war, it was a hard market in Israel because there was the hype and the big jump of the after the coronavirus that there was a lot of money in the Israeli high tech sector, and all the companies try to find the workers and try to get bigger. Uh, like in this 2021, the start of 2022, there were a lot of position open and a lot of recruitment, but um, in 2023, it became less attractive, and it was harder to find a job. I finished my job, as you said, in the project-based company. I worked in a project for a Wix company. It's a well-known company of website building.
Builder,
It's
yeah.
a platform to website Wix. So we did a project for them, and the project ended. So I finished my work there at September 23, October 7th in Israel. So the war started when I just was in the beginning of essentially my next job.
Yeah.
And then it was, I worked only for a year and a half. So I don't have much of experience. And there are a lot of fired people in Israel, people that have more experience than me that are now looking for the job, and there are less jobs. So for me, it became very hard. And then now I'm still looking for my next job in the high-tech sector. I had half a year working as instructor in a course of web development, but it was only for the time of the course, and it's not to be a programmer, it's just to be a instructor in a course. So I'm still looking for uh, my next challenge and trying to understand and uh, and to go on and understand what can I do. Yeah, it's very hard. My economic situation is not very good. Uh, and for now, I work in temporary work until I will find a better job. So this is my
So,
personal situation. I hope things will change for good.
so are you looking out for international opportunities, or you're just like you're focused on Israel companies?
I don't think that I have me or any other Israeli very good value to give in the global market, because if you go to the global market of programmers, so I'm in a contest and against competition with programmers from India, from Africa. They are much more cheaper than what I need to live in Israel. Israel is a very expensive country. Also, if you go, I want to be a freelancer that takes small jobs. I tried it, and it was hard for me to be so alone, and that all the responsibility is only on me. It's just don't going well with my character. And when I worked in the company, we were a team, and I was a very good programmer and a worker in the team. And I hope to find, again, a place that I can do a good job for them and be productive and have a nice time there.
Oh, Israel is known for its cutting edge technology and
Yes.
robust infrastructure. And you also mentioned you have a computer science degree, right?
Yeah.
And yet it's still so difficult to find a role. Wow.
Yeah.
That's so bad.
If I had a degree from a very known university with high scores, so could be easier. But my resume is not so amazing because the high-tech sector in Israel is so popular. So many people want to join it. There's a big competition. When you look in Israel for a job in LinkedIn, where you see that if it's like for beginners or 2 years experience, in minutes you have 100 people that send their resume. So it's much. When for every job opportunity you have competition with so many people, it's hard. And the way that it can work, that if you have a good friend in a company that he can recommend about you, and so you will get a special treatment, and you won't be just one of all the people that send their resumes. So if you will find in Israel someone with more experience than me, he won't have the same challenge of finding his next job, and maybe he will need to um, get less salary than he had in his previous job. But there's still a lot of high-tech companies in Israel, and a lot of things that's happening. But with that come a lot of eventually much more people are want to join it. So it's hard for beginners to find their first job or second job if they don't have enough experience.
So how about MyCAF, if I got to pronounce it, if I pronounce it well, MyCAF community, the open source community, that could be a leverage for you
Markup, yeah.
when you're submitting your resumes. You can say you actually built I think you over how many thousands developers or hundreds in that community. So how is it going so far with the work? You looking for a job? How is it going so far with the community?
Okay. Yeah, so I established a community. It's called in Hebrew Markaf. And the idea of the community is to connect programmers that want to contribute to open source, to projects that will be relevant for them to contribute. And yeah, it went very good. We have around 1,000 people there, or even 2,000, something like that. And in the last month, because of my personal situation, that I have a lot of mess, and when I worked as an instructor, it was in a place that far from where I live, so I had a lot of hours driving, and all the day I was working in front of people. I didn't have a lot of free time, so I had less time to manage the community. So it's very challenging for me. The last month I less active as a manager of the community. But the idea is great. It worked, and still people are connecting through our WhatsApp group and our Discord server. And people in Israel, if someone thinks about contribute to open source, so he eventually will hear about our community, and he will go to our group and will ask, okay, I want to contribute to open source. What project can be relevant? And he will get a relevant answer. So the idea is really good. We had meetups and a lot of activity. Even in September 23, just before the war began, I went to an international conference in Spain. In Spain, why I forget the name of the city.
I was about to even ask you about it too.
Bilbao. It was in Bilbao.
So I was thinking, maybe this markup community could be a leverage that you could use for your application.
Yeah.
And also, how has the response been so far since you mentioned the community? Like, have they gotten back to you? Have you gotten interviews or feedback from people you've been applying? Yeah, applying to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the community is helpful. Um, and I got to interviews for jobs by friends from the community that recommended me, but eventually um, it did it ended as a contract and starting to work. Even what I found is that it's not helping. It's help, but it's not amazing and not enough that it will make the search of of work in Israel easier, because the people in the industry in Israel are not so big fans of open source. And given that we had in the community people that really did great things, and you can see in their GitHub that they are really serious in what they are doing in open source. So it's not what the interviewers look for, and more looking for people that have experience working for companies and good grades from university or things like that. I think it's also connected to the situation in the market in Israel, because to recruit someone because you saw that he's a good programmer in the open source contributions, it's not the usual way to get workers in Israel. So it's a new method, and their all methods are working well. So they're working at their usual methods of looking for people that have experience in companies or good universities, students that have high grades from well-known universities, and they get enough workers for the situation now. So they don't have reason to try this new way of recruit people
Yeah.
open source contribution. But eventually, the community is not all about recruitment for jobs. It's a real good thing to contribute to open source and to be connected to this world, and it helps people to connect. The community is doing well, and I hope to come back and be more active in managing the community. And I think eventually, for when we'll have the community for many years, people inside the community, we will have more people that are not juniors and only the beginning of their career, but people that will get experience, and they will get a good position in companies in Israel. And then when they will recommend for people they will see in the community, this is a great way get jobs. But for now, most of the people in the community are beginners, and so we don't get too many opportunities for jobs, but it can take time. I think now in Israel, not only for my personal life and the community, everything in Israel now, we need a lot of patience. We on processes that we don't know what is going to happen. We try to be optimistic, even though the war is very hard, and we have political problems and challenges. I can't say for sure what is going to be in the next years here. I hope things will go well and for the best, but the war was very surprising. No one in Israel thought that we are going to get such a hard attack on us, and then that the war against the Hamas will take so long, and it will be so hard. So I think we are still surprised here in Israel in our situation, that uh, no one thought that things like that can happen. And we hope that now that there is a ceasefire, and it looks like things are moving to a better future, that this is really what is going to happen. We don't know yet.
So
We will know in the future.
yeah. So let's say the war officially ends, right? Um, you how will I say this? Do you think it's going to change the job market? Do you think it will open more opportunities? And would you consider maybe applying to US roles or US companies or international companies?
As I said, me personally, I don't think for Israel is the international option is very good, because the life here are very expensive. If you work
Yeah,
in an
you
Israeli
mentioned.
company, you get salaries that is enough for living in Israel, but the salary that you will get from international position is not enough for living here.
Wow.
Unless you are very senior and you have a very special offer to give to the international company. So it's a different situation for very specific people. But standard Israeli programmer is better to find a job in Israeli company. So if the war is ended, there will be more investing in Israeli high tech, and there will be more money, and companies will
Yeah.
grow, and more
Okay.
workers it can be. And we hope that the period after the war will be a good time, that
Yeah.
we will have motivation to work for our country, and then more kind of patriotism and a will to see a better future. We hope for good, but we still don't know. It's something that we will only know in the future. If I'm looking like on Ukraine, I think that also there they have their hard war with Russia, and no one thought that it will take so long. So
Yeah.
I hope that we will have a good future here in the next years. But it's not that we have enough information to say, oh, it's sure going to be good. No, things that are open, and there are also uh, the opportunities that it's going to be still very hard in the next years in Israel.
So if the IDF, like, if they are paying very well, will you join the army? Can you hear me?
We want peace, and we want a good life. So we have enemies that want to kill all the Jews. Anti-Semitism the and very radical Islamistic beliefs. So we must defend ourselves. And personally, I hope that we do it in the best way, is to mostly bring peace to the world, and make everyone lives better. Us, and I hope eventually our enemies. It's hard. Well, as a Jew, we have jokes that when you wake up in the morning as a Jew, someone in the world want to kill you. This is our position in life. My grandmother and all these generations, they were in the Holocaust. So we must defend ourselves, and we have a good army, and also a good military industry. Maybe I will find myself there, but I don't know.
So how has life been since the war for you and your family?
I don't live really near the borders. There was alarms sometimes that we need to go to the shelter because of sometimes we get missiles to our area, but we didn't have a lot of alarms. So mainly the life are as usual as my personal life. But we have the news, and I have friends that killed in the Hamas attack at October 7th, and people from the north near the Lebanon border that became homeless. They need to find where to live. The government gave them a hotels room, and they became refugees in Israel. So I, I I hear the news here, and we feel it now, like because we have more taxes, and each one in Israel knows someone that is connected to the war, maybe died or injured or left his home, things like that. I know personally a lot of friends that have this situation. Yeah, it's we are very connected here in Israel as a part of the Jewish people, and the only Jewish state all over the world. So even if I don't feel it personally, is that I'm under attack, and something in my neighborhood is different, but we very feel it as a nation, that we are very connected to each other, and yeah, we hope to have better days. We already had, so we hope that we will have again a more peaceful life, and that it will only get better, not like what we had now in this surprising war.
So you mentioned earlier that you don't have enough experience as a developer. So what are you doing, like what are you doing to gain that experience right now? so you can have better opportunities.
Basically, my way is really to contribute to open source and to connect to people that are working and by their recommendation to get jobs. But I really in hard economic situation, so I just try to find a job temporarily. Because to find a job as a programmer, it takes a lot of time. Even if you go to a good process and the company gets you to an interview, so you will have a series of interviews until you will have the job, and then to sign the contract. Meantime, I need to buy food in the supermarket. So I have a basic challenge before I will find a better job in the high-tech sector. I hope eventually things will go well. But for now, my personal challenge is just to get even economically, to have a basic job, like to be a guard in somewhere or to a mall or something. In Israel, because of the security situation, so there are a lot of guards everywhere, and it's an easy market. If you want to be a guard, you will get a job there because there are not enough people to do that. Or other jobs that is just easy to get. And I think it's like to be in America, the United States McDonald's worker. It's a
Oh,
basic job that you get. So I think this is what I'm looking for now. This is my personal challenge, and eventually I hope that I will have the long way and patient to try again and again to get a job as a programmer, because this is my knowledge, and I want to work in what I know and in what I like. So personally, I'm in a specific situation that is very challenging, but I try to do my best and hope for good.
yeah, yeah. Always, always. You always have to stay positive. The job market is so tough, so you always have to stay positive as job seekers. So how do you feel? How do you feel after having this chat with me today? How do you feel talking about your job experience and about the war?
I always like to talk. I hope that I was understandable, even though my English is not the best. And it's good because in my situation, I kind of lonely because I'm not part of a team working, and I'm still looking for my way. So if anyone that have the time to talk and listen to me, it's good for my mental health, something like that.
Oh,
It's give me a good feeling, and
yeah.
I hope that if someone listened and enjoy, and it was interesting for him, and gave him knowledge or ideas. It's great.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. That's the reason why I created the podcast. I've also been looking for a job since January last year, and it got so lonely. I got depressed. So I'm really glad that this chat helped you, help you feel better in a way. If you're a job seeker listening to this episode, please, I'll share a link to our form in the description below so you can share your own story and come and have a chat with me also and feel better. So I have a question for you, Uriel.
Okay.
So if you had the power, like the power of the universe, right? What is one thing you will change or you will do right now?
Can you ask what I will change? What context?
In any context, like right now, you just have the power to do one thing right now. What is that thing you will do?
I think that all the hostages will be back in Israel. This is our. We are all very upset for that and sad. It's horrible what they are going through. So Um, the basic hope here is that we will see all the hostages back home. I hope the war will end. If you let me dream far, so I'll say that we will have a good relationship with our neighbors, that we won't be enemies, but just neighbors doing a market together, and can visit each other. But this is, in Israel, it's still too far to think about such things. So just my basic dream is to see the hostages back in Israel, and that we will have better days here.
Yeah, I really hope this deal pulls through and everything goes back to normal. Yeah. Okay. So we've come to the end of our episode today. Yeah. So thank you so much for joining us, Uriel. I'm so grateful you had to make the time to join us today. Thank you so much. Yeah, and I hope you had a great time though.
Yeah.
All right. Dear listeners, if you're listening to this episode, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned it one or two things about Israel and the war. And I also hope you got to listen to Uriel's story and you also get to know more about him and what he does. So I will link his profile in the description so you can reach out to him if you have any opportunities for him. So that's it for today. So don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to drop a comment in the comment section. All right. Bye. All
Bye.
right.
Goodbye.